Hello, my name is Joey. No, really though, and welcome to Shortcast, where I rant about whatever the day has brought into my weird head. Today, I want to chat to you about cryptocurrency. And it's kind of important that I mark that it is the 17th, the 9th of 2017, which is important because at the moment, Bitcoin is has been dropping throughout the week like mad. It went down by I think $1,000 or something like that. At a peak, it was around $5,000. Now it's at $3,000. And it's all on the back of the CEO of JP Morgan coming out and saying that he thinks it's a scam, it's a bubble, and it's nonsense. He'd fire anybody who would trade in it on his team and all that jazz. And things have been plummeting. And on top of that, not only Bitcoin as a cryptocurrency has been plummeting, all the currencies started dropping like mad. And of course, if you're into that kind of stuff, if you're into cryptocurrency, you probably made up your mind already. If you're not into it, but you know about it and you're not doing it, you're probably against it, possibly, and you're not doing it because you think it's a bad idea. So I guess the question is it a bubble or is it the future? And the answer is yes. I think the answer is yes. And let's face it, if I'm not like a specialist on it. I don't follow it, so people might be coming over and saying, "Well, listen, this and that, and the chain, and this is unstable, and this will fork soon, and that everything will fall apart, and all that jazz." Doesn't matter. It really doesn't, as far as I'm concerned. There was a time when it did matter, when maybe Bitcoin could have, crashed and burned. I think we're past that point. Let's face it, we're past that point. There's ATMs, there's houses being sold for it, people accepting it all over the place. At the end of the day, we have to remember one thing: that cryptocurrency is just like any other currency in terms of it's based on trust. It's based on the idea that people believe that it has worth, right? So let's compare it to a gift card. Now, gift card is a piece of paper. It doesn't, or a card or something like that these days. It's not worth anything, but there's a trust that there's money on it somehow, and it's a trust that is established between the shop or the chain and the customer. It's a promise that basically, we've put information on this that we hold your credit, and if you come in, we're gonna give you something for it, right? And normal money is the same. It's a piece of paper at the end of the day. It's not backed by gold anymore, not for a long time. So it's a trust. I trust that I'm gonna get something in return for this weird piece of paper with a number 50 on it, right? And Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies are, well, I'm gonna talk about Bitcoin mostly here, is exactly the same. People trust it by now, and there's no going back from that. I don't think so, unless something ridiculous happens. But that can happen to a normal currency as well. So I think if you think Bitcoin is a hoax and it's gonna go away and it's gonna crash and burn and it's a bubble, I think you're slightly on the delusional side. I think you're kind of lagging behind there, and you don't see the sign on the wall or whatever they say. So there's that. I think it's gonna be there now. In terms of price, it's still a new thing, relatively new thing, and the price is still going up. And I don't know about these things. I have no idea what's going to happen in terms of price. No idea. Is it a bubble? Possibly. It might be a bubble in terms of the price might be ridiculously inflated at the moment, or it still might be under the original, not the original, the value that maybe it will stabilize on. But at the end of the day, it's here to stay. Is it a bubble? Possibly. Maybe it'll crash and burn properly and it'll stabilize somewhere around 500 quid or 1,000 or whatever. We'll see. But is it a bubble in general, the cryptocurrency? The answer is again yes, I think so. Because let's face it, there's so many cryptocurrencies at the moment. There's this Jobs currency, like Steve Jobs currency. Come on, seriously? Like, I know some of the cryptocurrencies are not meant to be actual currencies. They're used for other purposes, and people are just throwing money into it to pull it out. And there's a lot of that short-term price difference mucking about. But all you have to do is look at the list of those currencies. How many are there? And how many of them are just there to kind of play around with the price, put money in, pull money out when they made a profit? And this is, as far as I'm concerned, this is somewhat of a bubble because it's at the end of the day, it is just money exchanging hands mechanism, really. You go in, you buy stuff, then it starts dropping. Somebody panics, sells low. Somebody else has the opposite approach. They buy when it's low, then it goes up again, and you hear about so-called whales that have a lot of money and then can kind of move those prices around by offering up a lot of coin or selling a lot of coin and pulling out before they actually manage to sell, and then just basically it's typical psychology situation where on the normal market where you scare people into selling low, they sell, you buy it, it goes up again, and you've made a profit. So it's money exchange mechanism where people that make the wrong decisions give away their money to people that make the right decisions. But at the end of the day, if you look at the list of those cryptocurrencies, how many are there? We don't need them. Like, I get it, some of them are not going to be used as currency, that's fine. But half of them, as far as I'm concerned, are hoaxes. Not hoaxes, but like money exchanging schemes or something. And they might have absolutely, the creators might have absolutely noble intentions of providing something new and great and secure and non-trackable and all that jazz. But let's face it, we don't need that many cryptocurrencies. We just don't. We're going to end up in a situation where it's like real currency, when you have the dollars and the yen and the pound and the euros. We don't need that many. I think maybe, one, two, three, I don't know, but definitely not, 20, 30, 40, 50. Like, how is that going to make anybody's life easier? Unless, somebody's interest is there to play around between price differences. But at the end of the day, that stuff needs to stabilize at some point. So I think that's where the bubble is. I think the bubble is this period that we're in now, where all these coins come and go, and these new ones pop up, and they're being backed by some of them are being backed by the banks, some of them are being backed by countries, by corporations, by original creators of Bitcoin or something like that. Probably not that one, but all these different things popping up, coming and going, and it's that period of early development. We kind of know that it's a thing now, right? It's not something that's going to go away. So there's a lot of new players trying to get into the game, but at the end of the day, it's going to filter down, and some people lose a lot of money over it. I think people putting money in, trusting in a certain weird currency, and they're going to lose the money like that. But at the end of the day, the question whether it's a bubble or it's the future, it's yes. It is a bubble at the moment, I think, with all the weird cryptocurrencies. It's just money exchanging scheme as far as I'm concerned. Even if the creators have the best intentions, those currencies cannot survive, all of them. They're going to come and go. But at the end of the day, I think Bitcoin, regardless of what's going to happen with the future fork, and even with this dip at the moment and all that, I think it's just, whatever happens, it's going to be there in half a year, in a year's time. I don't think it's going anywhere. So, I don't really intend to give any advice here in terms of buying or selling or anything. Like, do what you want with whatever you think about the cryptocurrency. But the point is, I think it's here to stay, and all that madness happening in general is a bit of a bubble, but cryptocurrency is here to stay, I think. But in terms of one thing I want to leave you with is, I haven't even checked it. Apparently, it's a quote from Warren Buffett, and it's in my head. That's how you should be playing around with these things. And I believe it was, be greedy when others are fearful, be fearful when others are greedy. And I think it's a good way of thinking about buying and selling these things if you have enough confidence. And as I said, I think it's Warren Buffett. Somebody mentioned that to me. I'm not gonna check that now. That's my rant for today. Jesus, 9 minutes. It's gonna come into 10 in a second, so better finish this because this is supposed to be a quick cast somehow. So again, thank you very much. Click like and subscribe. That's what they say usually at the end of those things, don't they? So give it a go. Toodaloo. I see you next time. Bye bye.